Hey, what's going on there, folks? Welcome back here to a Saturday night. It is the Earthmaster out here. About 8:01 p.m. here, California time, July 20th, 2024. 8:01. Big earthquake coming in here right around the Guatemala area, it looks like. Pretty large earthquake, a 6.2 magnitude earthquake here striking within the last few minutes. Relatively deep here as well. This is actually a super deep earthquake for this area. Far as any signals of a large quake here on the map, well, I don't have any Guatemala stations here in the area to pick up the seismic wave, but I'm sure eventually that wave will find its way across the planet, because it is actually a fairly decently sized earthquake there. Let's see what we got from the EMSC model. They are the ones that are jumping on this right off the bat. 6.2 felt earthquake down here in the Guatemala area. As you can see, it looks like it's out here in the mountainous region. Not too familiar with this area as far as population density goes, but it was a felt earthquake. 6.2. These folks are reporting 274 kilometers deep. That is a super deep earthquake if it does pan out for this depth. Now, seismologists there have not reviewed this, so it could get revised. Lately on these earthquakes, this has been a lower magnitude, and they actually upgrade it to a much larger magnitude here. So we'll have to see what the USGS reports here once they come in, which is not, it's not coming in yet. Let me see what we got here for slight shake. Chandelier moved a bit. The good thing about if this earthquake is deep, like it's stating here, 264 kilometers deep, that will limit the amount of damage done at the surface level. So hopefully it will remain at that depth. According to some of the testimonies there, it just got downgraded by the EMSC, but this is going to bounce back and forth until a actual seismologist reviews it. And should pop up here any second there from the USGS. Either way, that's a pretty large earthquake, and that would put it, let's see, somewhere underneath this area into the Middle America Trench, a very deep trench area here, and we do see quite a bit of deeper earthquakes in this area. These guys are just, you know, it takes them a little while. No doubt it takes them a little while. So, 6.1. We got one earthquake way up north here of Iceland as well. Looks like a little swarm going on up here. So, while we wait on the USGS, let's check something real quick as far as Iceland activity goes, because we are getting a decent amount of earthquake activity here across this rift boundary. Some 2s and 3s coming in. North of Iceland here, of course, this is a continental drift area separation. Eventually, you know, new lands being formed out here. The area of interest is around the Grindavik area, where we've seen the last couple eruptions, and not a whole lot of earthquake activity there now, but we are quite heightened in terms of inflation in that area. So just a matter of time, I suppose, before we see things ramp back up there in that area again. California got a 2-pointer coming in. Southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. A quick glance here at the tremor map here tonight. See what we got. About 85 epicenters of tremor into the Vancouver Island ranges, and also a little bit underneath the Oregon area. Now this is tremor occurring down into the subduction zone region of the Cascadia. Lighten up slightly out here across the area of Southern California. Nothing major going on for now. The area underneath Lake Tahoe, well, they had a little swarm going on this morning here, but looks like things have calmed down since. But as always with this newer, deeper activity here, that could stir things up out here across the North American plate. The Big Island of Hawaii, quite active out here. A lot of deeper quakes in the area, and some swarming going on here just southeast of the Lava Lake area up in the Upper East Rift Zone. Been watching that. It's been kicking up here out of the blue. Real quick glance here at the USGS again. These guys are just a little slow. Let me see here. There's a little signature from that 6-pointer down in Guatemala there on the Barrett station. Let's see. I don't think it's going to be any bigger than a 6-pointer. Just looking at the seismographs, it'll probably stay around Oh, look at that. I was just chatting about this here. We get a big earthquake in Lake Tahoe. 3.4 earthquake. Look at that. Speaking things into existence here. Goodness. 3.4 earthquake underneath Lake Tahoe right now. 6.3 kilometers deep. Something's brewing underneath this area. That earthquake there is the largest so far in this little sequence of earthquakes in this area. It's underneath an automatic status, so let's see here what we got for magnitudes. I went with this one, so it looks like threes, a couple twos in there as well. These are all the magnitudes being reported to the computer system, and then they figure out a magnitude from there. They compute everything. But that's rather interesting there, to see that earthquake stir up following this event down south here. Coincidence? I think not. I don't believe in coincidences at all here on this planet. Everything happens for a reason, I believe. And nothing coming in yet from the USGS. .2, back up to a 6.2 here on this earthquake in Guatemala, 261 kilometers deep. Population here, got about 994,000 people there around Guatemala City, 60 kilometers east. Is where the epicenter struck. 9 kilometers southeast of this area with about 45,000 people. So, yeah, it looks like a few folks reported feeling it, but thankfully that's a fairly deep earthquake in that area. There we go. USGS now reporting this as a 6.2, 260 kilometers deep. So it looks like that will stand since it has been reviewed there by a seismologist. And of course it is in that zone, the Middle America Trench here, where a lot of deeper activity takes place. We'll be back a little bit later on this evening, folks. A lot of stuff going on here right now. I was outside having a little barbecue, so I had to rush in here real quick. Another earthquake following this 3.4 there underneath Lake Tahoe. So be prepared. We'll be back here in a little bit to cover all this activity. Stay safe out there, folks.